So welcome back to another race day vlog. It's the third one in a row, and let's wrap up the trilogy with the Newport half marathon. So 2 weeks ago we had the Alicante half marathon, last week was the Bourton 10k, and now we have the Newport half marathon. I am really excited for this one. I cannot wait to get going. It's currently -3 degrees. We're going to head down there probably by race start. It'll be freezing, maybe just above, which to be honest with you will be ideal race temperatures, but we'll be taking the gloves, I think. Really excited for this one. I have been all week, felt a lot better leading into this one than I did Bourton. I think Alicante took a lot out of me, but Bourton not so much. So I'm excited to see what we can do at Newport today. We'll talk about the course and the race plan shortly. As for nutrition this morning, I've had the usual porridge with chocolate spread. That's what I always have, and a Sturka drink mix. That was 3.5 hours before, and I ate that slowly. And then I've just had my bicarb now, 2 hours before setting out the door. Alright, so we have made it. You'll have to excuse the low rumbling sound. I've got the car engine on. It is freezing. It's just about turned over freezing, so hopefully it's going to warm up very quickly. Definitely going to take the gloves down to the race start. So let's talk caffeine and then let's talk the race tactics. So as per usual, Morton Caf 100 gel, 100 milligrams of caffeine in here, 100 milligrams of caffeine in the ketone IQ as well. So that'll be 200 milligrams going in before the race. And we'll take that in the next 10 minutes or so. With regards to the course and with regards to race tactics, so the course itself roughly has around 320, 30, 40-ish foot, depending on whose Strava you look at. I looked at my old Strava back from 2019. That's the last time I did this race. I think the course has changed a little bit, but not too much. Most of it is exactly the same. For the most part, you can get rolling on this course quite nicely. However, the middle section can be a little bit lumpy. I think the first 2 or 3 miles is okay, and then we get out and we hit a few hills, and then we run out in some twisty turny sections before coming back into Newport, and then sort of running along the riverbank and then over a bridge and then back round to the finish. So I'm excited to see how we feel today. What are my goals? Well, to be honest with you, I'd love to run fast in Alicante, but I've made no secret that I want a PB in the half marathon this spring, and that's exactly what I'm going for. I'm going to go for it. I've been hesitant to commit to it this morning, but I don't know why I'm hesitant, because I've been saying it all through the training series. I want to get a PB, so there's no point in backing out now. We're here for the big one. I'm going to be going out strong, feeling good, hopefully feeling good, and see what we can do out there today. I'm excited more than anything just to race. I feel like this one, for me, holds no pressure. It's a bit of a free hit. I've done my Alicante. I finished the training series there, but I did book this one so that if I didn't PB at Alicante, I could come out here and have another go, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Kind of let the shackles off a little bit and go and run to how I want to run.
Daddy! Go, Daddy!
Something. I think it was just a PB by a couple of seconds.
Oh, nice.
That middle bit just absolutely took out of me. All the little ups and downs.
Yeah, it's just come back onto your carriage, really.
Oh, yeah, absolutely gone. So there we go, crossed the line, I think in 73. My watch says 53, which is a 1 second PB, but I also know that I started my watch a little bit late, so I think I might be just over. We'll go back and check the official results. Either way, really nice to be back in the 73s. Yes, we did it. 1:13.54 was the last PB. We did it by a second. We got the PB, 6th place. Happy days. So there we go, we did it by 1 second. So I think it was Oxford 2023, I ran 73.54. So very, very happy with that. Can't believe it. I remember stepping over the line and going, oh, start my watch. So I knew I was a second or two off there. So I really did think I was going to be the other side of it, but no, we did it. And do you know what? Never be ungrateful for a PB. Doesn't matter if it's a second, a minute, 5 minutes, whatever. Just take it, bank it, we'll move on. So that was a strong performance and great to be back in the 73s. I'll load up my Strava now. We'll go through a quick race recap. A couple of things I'm really happy with. I knew Newport half marathon wasn't the flattest of courses, but they have changed the start of it, and so that's made the first 3 miles really nice. I really actually enjoyed that because I remember starting in the town when I did it 6 years ago, so that was really good. The end is really good. It's just that middle bit. It was 410 foot when I ran Oxford 18 months ago in the October, and I got that PB. That was 200 foot, a much flatter course, I'd say much faster, so really good to get a PB on this course today. Actually, it transpires it's only 20 or 30 foot less than Alicante. Just better weather conditions today, which I knew I needed for a good performance. So actually, with that elevation and that time in a PB, I'm not going to say, I keep saying it, I'm buzzing. First of all, a huge thanks to the organisers of the race. They did a great job, well marshalled, lots of support out there. Really enjoyed it, great to go back there. Really pleased I actually chose this one to go and do. As I said, it's been 6 years, nice to go back and refresh the memory of it. As I said, start and finish is really good. It's that middle bit that puts the stinger in there. There are some really short, sharp little bumps in there that just take it out of the legs and really make it hard for you to get going again. I thought I was cooked at the end and I had no chance, but thankfully we got there. So let's roll through it. First of all, we were standing there, and there's obviously, I don't know if you saw in the video, there's that section at the front for the elites, and basically a couple of people said, running sub 75, we're going to try to, and we're like, yeah, and they said, come on forward. So there was like 6, 7, 8 of us in this section at the front on our own. I felt really privileged, and then we were able to stride up and down the road as well while we were waiting, because it was just a 10-minute delay on the start. So that was pretty cool. We went out with intent, so let's pull up the mile splits here. So yeah, 5:37 for the first mile, which is absolutely perfect. Speaking to a couple of people on the line, they were going for 73s, maybe 72, so I was like, right, I'm sticking with you, and we did pretty much all the way. So towards the end, you would have seen maybe the camera would have picked up a chap in a purple vest in front, and then the chap that went past me in the last mile in the Tracksmith kit, he was great as well. We chatted before and after. He was also one of the guys at the start that we said we were going to 73, so shout out to him, and he was one of the reasons that I actually did it. We'll explain that in a minute. So we started going, we ran the first one in 5:37. That was good. Went up and over a bridge over the other side of the river and back along, and then I dropped to 5:35. Was running in a group of people it was one of those situations where I kind of thought to myself, do you want a repeat of what you've had before? It was at that moment in time that I decided to take the lead on the group, because I thought to myself, at this rate, I could kind of feel that at the 5:35, it was very cruisy, as it always is at the start of a half marathon. But I knew that if I rested on my laurels, I would not get a PB. I wouldn't even get into the 74s. So I went for it. So we dropped to 5:35. Then I dropped a 5:34 for the third mile. At this point, this was really nice, flat and fast, really good, smooth tarmac. We did a little out and back over a bridge, and then we started the first climb, and I split a 5:40. I think on my watch it was 5:39 high. So I was actually really pleased with that. And then again, we went kind of down the other side, and then another big climb. This is where the first of the small little stingers were, a really short, sharp alleyway, which really caught me off guard. You're kind of almost on your tiptoes a little bit up there. And it was only 10 or so foot, but it's enough to take the sting out of the pace. Then climbed up, split a 5:43, but then we had a lovely rolling downhill. On that downhill out the other side, it was really nice. I remembered this distinctly from last time, 6 years ago. I remember that being a good part of the course. It is down. There are a couple of small rises. You're going down, rise down, and then a lovely flat. And you're like at the base of the course at that point, because then you've got to do a bit of climbing to get back. But it felt really good. Dropped to 5:31 at that point, felt really good. So this is when it got tricky. I've just realised, apologies, there's a bit of light coming in here, so I'll try and crop it so it's not quite so bad. So yeah, we get to that point, and this is when we go a bit twisty-turny through those sections. And there's a good section out the back of it, but there are just some weaving in and out of park paths, some dead turns. It's pretty tricky at that point. And again, it just kind of kills momentum a little bit. So I logged a 5:43, but then we sped up, and I could feel that I really put a bit of a surge in at that point. I'd say there's a bit of a gentle downhill on one of those paths. It's where I could get rolling a little bit before we had some more little ups and downs. So I split a 5:30 there, and I regained a bit of confidence, but I knew at that point, that was mile 8, I still have 5 miles to go. So again, get rolling. This is when we hit the boardwalk, where we're running on wooden bridges over the nature reserve. And again, we get out the other side, and there's just a couple of little pitches that just make it a bit difficult. Split a 5:37. So again, I was really shocked, but I just kept thinking at that moment in time, my time is running out. You're going to gas yourself at some point. Like the negativity started kicking in, and I was just trying to say, just take it one step at a time. I won't lie, it hurt more than Alicante. I won't lie. More perfect conditions, because I was pushing the pace a bit more, and those little stinging hills were coming in. Alicante had longer drags. This had just those short, sharp little spikes here and there. And again, when we're around the other side of that, we're running next to the main road, and there's a couple of small pitches there, and it just takes a sting out of things. Again though, I managed to log a 5:36. I still don't know how, 5:37. I still don't know how that happened. I was trying to run sub 5:37s in general, so I was just like, okay, that's another one. Now you've only got 4 to go. And this was the last big stinging hill. We ended up at the base of like Sainsbury's. We had to go up onto the bypass, and then we had a bit of a nice long drag. But again, at that point, I remember it so well from last time. You come up that hill, and I remember feeling gassed. It took me a while to get going, but I got going in the end, and then we had a bit of a cruisy down. But again, 5:36, managed to stick it. Really happy. At this point, again, I don't know how, but we come down to Newport, and at this point we do a bit of a dead turn back, a left-hand turn over a bridge, right-hand turn through the housing estate. So again, that section is a little bit interrupted, and I split 5:43, and at that point I thought my race was over. I was really getting gassed, and then at that point on the other side of the river, you can see the finish line the other side, and you're zigzagging through a few railings. So again, that just knocked me a bit, and I split a 5:48. But at that moment in time, the chap in the tracksmith vest and shorts went past me, and he saved my race. So I know I did like most of the work from like mile 2 onwards, and I was running quite solo, but he was permanently right behind me, and that was great. I needed that. I needed to hear him, because I could see someone in front. I was trying to pick him off, but there were moments when I just wanted to pull the plug, and he kept me going. And he went past me and said, come on, we are nearly there. So we hit the bridge, we come over the other side, and I picked it up as best as I could to track him down. He put about 20 or 30 meters on me, but I just tried to hold that gap, and I managed to hold that gap. We split a 5:35, so I'm back on pace, and I can see my watch, and I'm going, right, do you know what? You've got a minute now to get from here to the finish. I know the finish is just around the corner. I can do this. I can go a sub 74. And honestly, the last 2 miles, I thought it was well out of the question. I was trying not to look at my overall time. I looked at it there. I went game on, and that fire lit inside me, and I put the foot down. And for that last 0.1, I think it was 5:04 per mile pace. And we did it. 73:53 officially. That, I think it's a 1 second PB. Oxford Half Marathon, when I did that, was not a registered course. And I think on my Strava that says 73:56, although I seem to remember on the official results it being 73:54. So this is my official PB, double the elevation. Absolutely, honestly, so happy. So we did it. What a way to wrap things up. So happy and so grateful to you guys for following this training series. I know it technically ended at Alicante, but I've been saying that I've had back-to-back races. We have a break now until March the 23rd. So I'm going to be resuming training now. It's been a relaxed couple of weeks, and I definitely felt that relaxation in the legs in the last couple of miles, as reflected in the splits. So we're going to be back on it now, training for those 5Ks, kicking things off on, I think it's Wednesday the 2nd of April. So we've got a month today to when we're going to be doing that. Really excited to get going, and that training will be starting this week, but we'll ease into things nicely next week, let the legs recover, and start those short, sharp sessions. So thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. If you're interested in seeing another couple of race vlogs, I'll make sure I leave the links. I think it's this side, up here and down here, for a couple of recent race vlogs, and I'll see you guys over on one of those.